Hi there, it's Ron. Just making a video to check in and give a little update. Earlier today, I did another NAMI Day of Action, National Alliance on Mental Illness, which is the biggest mental health organization in the USA. And these days of action are where we speak to state legislators and their staff about mental health related bills that are going through the legislature right now, through the Texas legislature. The one today, well, there were two Senate bills that we discussed with a state senator's staff, and they're both related to prescription medications for people with mental health conditions and making sure that the continuity is preserved. Sometimes health insurance wants to interfere and try to slow down or make those decisions for the patient and the doctor, and they really shouldn't have any say at all. So these two bills get passed, it'll strictly be between the patient and the doctor. So we're optimistic that we can get these passed. But it was really good. I served as a storyteller again today. This is my third NAMI Day of Action, and just shared a small part of my story and my recovery journey. And another NAMI volunteer shared part of her recovery journey. So hopefully that has an impact. Let's see, and then on Sunday, I spoke at another Recovery 101, How to Become a Rock Star seminar, and it's a 4-hour seminar, and I do the third hour focusing on treatment and recovery. And basically, it's a more or less a PowerPoint presentation, and then we intersperse parts of our own story with that. And we're slowly growing our audience. I think we were up to about 28 people this time. So slowly growing that audience. We'll do another one in another month or so. And then tomorrow, we're going to have a Day of Action rally. And unfortunately, won't be in Austin for that, but it'll be on Zoom, just like we were doing today, be on Zoom. So that'll be kind of fun and uplifting, just as this was today. It's very cathartic and very empowering to advocate. And I received a very flattering compliment, I guess. Our team leader introduced me, both in writing and on video today, introduced me as a very accomplished, highly accomplished mental health advocate. And I was kind of like, wow. And I've gotten very similar and even better feedback from people that have been involved in this for a long time. Just some amazing feedback from them. And obviously I'm on the right track. So I'm going to keep down this track, have more NAMI volunteer stuff coming up, training for In Our Own Voice, where I'll be sharing my story with different groups in the community, and also just some volunteer stuff with them, decorating some cards that they send out as messages of support to people who are in treatment. And there's almost no one in here. Anyway, and then while I'm doing all this, on May 7th, I'll reach 2 years of sobriety, and that's really a big thing for me. So Hopefully you can hear me all right. I didn't realize I had my hand kind of over the microphone. All this is moving forward really a lot faster than I had envisioned or hoped. Just it's really kind of astonishing to me, and it really reminds me of a couple other transition times in my life. One transition was when my parents announced to us they were splitting up. I was 10 or 11 years old, and I was already heavily involved in sports, but after that I really dove in head first, and sports truly became my sanctuary and really helped me through, well, it saved my life. It helped me through so many difficult times. Another example of that, and this is what this really reminds me of, because along with sobriety, like I was just describing, there's a lot of big changes that are happening now and more on the way. It reminds me of the time period when I was a freshman and sophomore in high school, and I still remember the day that I left basketball. The season was over. I didn't quit. The season was completely over, and we were just transitioning into off season. I didn't want to do that because I knew that there was no future for me at Mesquite High School in basketball. But I had met Pat Mitchell, the head track coach there, the summer before when I did City of Mesquite summer track. So what I did, I'll never forget, this was a very early spring or, a late winter afternoon. And as soon as we were let out from basketball, I walked from the main building at Mesquite High School about a half mile down the road to the junior varsity field house and found Coach Mitchell and asked him if I could come out and run for the freshman track team. And he welcomed me and said, "All right, I'll get your schedule changed for you, and this is what time we have practice, etc., etc." I'll never forget. It was really a nice sunny day walking down there. Like, wasn't warm, but it wasn't cold. Kind of that crisp late February, early March air, But very early the next morning, at my first period of class, someone from the office came and called me to the door, and Coach Mitchell had already changed my schedule for me. That was really quick, because I told him like 3:30 or 4 o'clock the day before, so he must have, like, very first thing in the morning, changed my schedule for me. And that was a gigantic event in my life. That was completely life-changing, life-transforming. And like I said, it was a little frightening because I had really built up a world around basketball and sports in general. I really built up a world around it. So it was a little frightening leaving that, because I knew that there was no going back. And it all worked out really great. Here I am, all these years later, still running 17 Boston marathons in a row, running streak approaching 8,000 days. That will get cut a little short of 8,000 days because of my upcoming hernia surgery, but that's all right. We just started a new streak. My therapist tells me that that's part of my story too. So this also reminds me when Robert Plant first started his solo career. He was very, very intently left everything behind. And I still remember one of the first times I saw him in concert, he was introducing his new band, and he said, "This is how it's going to be, so you better get used to it." And that was a message to people who were still pining and whining for Led Zeppelin reunion and all that, to say, that's done. And I love the way he put it, just saying, this is how it is, so you better get used to it. So my sobriety and my mental health advocacy and all those things, this is how it is, so people have to get used to it. And things are a lot different from the perspective of sobriety, and there are some people who resent that, and some people who just they want you to stay stuck in the old you, because maybe they're stuck in the old version of them, who knows, but that's a personal decision, doesn't really matter to me. So onward and upward, as my mom always said, and she always quoted Frank Sinatra, the best is yet to come. All right, Boston Strong, y'all have a great day.